I don't know. Well, now it's back. I don't know if I lost everybody. I'll just keep going. I'm going to finish this out. It looks like it's still streaming. It pays to take life seriously. Things work out when you trust in God. Verse 20. It pays to take life seriously. And I'm not saying that we should always be all serious, but what I am saying is that to take life seriously, life matters. Our standing before God matters. And there. Okay. Our standing before God matters. We've had a technical failure this morning here, I think, but I will keep going. It stopped at, I really don't want to be offensive to anyone. And the volume dropped. Maybe there's a hint there. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a hint there at all. What I was saying was this. In verse 19, it says, better to live humbly among the poor than to live it up among the rich and the famous. But the challenge is this, and it comes from people like David Platt. Sometimes God gives us good things to enjoy. We should enjoy that nice red Subaru unstruck by deer. We should enjoy that. Or a nice red GMC truck, or a nice red Jeep Grand Cherokee, or whatever it is you might drive, a nice black, is it Porsche? Whatever it is. And sometimes we need to buy things of that nature. I mean, it's tax write-offs and things and whatnot. But when there is so much need, especially beyond America, would God be more honored? Here's the title of a book. The title of the book is Radical by David Platt. And it tells a story about, how the church was given lots of money to fancify itself, and they had indoor fountains and all these things, and spent $20 million on the building and got a big write-up in their denominational newsletter or magazine, and yet there was a small little article over in the corner that talked about a church that came up with $5,000 to drill a well in Africa. And David Platt was convicted by that, and it's like, okay, this seems like it's upside down and backwards. We're spending $20 million to have this fancy building, and yet people need water in other places of the world. Would it not honor Christ more if that were flipped over? And so in his ministry, they've been trying to flip things over and say, instead of us, instead of, as a doctor, as an example, buying a bigger house, what about staying in your old house? Or what about buying a smaller house? Or instead of, getting that new car, not every other year and paying cash for it, what about you keep that car for 5 years and take a car in between and take the value of that and give it to what needs done in Africa or South America or some other part of the world. So this is how verse 19 is hitting me. And again, I'm not saying it. If you've got nice stuff, enjoy it. Thank God for it. I thank God for my Jeep. I thank God for, the clothes I can wear. I thank God for this nice computer. I thank God for all the technology I have all around me. And I thank God for a warm home. And I thank God for, the opportunity to travel and do some things. I thank God for those things, and you should thank God too. But I'm also struck with the need and how to find the balance in that among believers, that we could care for the needs of those less fortunate, especially in places where they do not have the opportunity like we have in America. I mean, a lot of Americans would say, well, go get a job, go work more, go earn your keep. I mean, that would be kind of what we would say as Americans quite frequently. And yet there are places in the world that they do not have the opportunity. Think of the people who will go back to Ukraine if this war ends, or when this war ends. They'll go back to nothing. And how could we help them? And how could we be in a position to help them? Well, I'm going to stop at that verse today. I was hoping to finish out this passage. Verse 19 is a verse to mull over in your mind, to be thinking about. My stream is flashing at me. It's unstable this morning for some reason, so I am going to stop right there, because it's in the text. And again, offensive, I talked about being offensive. It's, we give thanks for the things that people enjoy, but what if, just what if, we talked about coffee as an example. I like Dunkin' Donuts lattes, large, with whole milk and stevia, no other flavors. But it's $5.02. And if I went and got one of those every day, the days I go to get my wife her dollar coffee at McDonald's because she likes McDonald's coffee, if I did that, I mean, what if I took that money and gave it to somebody that needed fuel oil? What if I took that money, that $150 I spent on coffee in that month, and sent it to Benny, or send it to Dave Patty, or send it to an organization? That's where I'm going with this. It's better to live humbly among the poor than to live it up among the rich and famous. The way I see it, and I'm just going to put this out there, the way I see it, oftentimes I think the rich and famous are so out of touch. Hollywood is out of touch. Those often in office are out of touch with reality.